Alright guys, I'm back. What's up? And so today, Neil deGrasse Tyson goes Tyson's Guide to Skywatching. You restart that. Go here and do this. Hmm. Hmm. Why doesn't it fit? Hmm. It must be because of this, right? Yeah.
Chuck, I got another.
No. Fuck.
Chuck, I got another.
Stop. No, they're not Tyson. You fucking idiot. Shut up. Okay. That works. Okay, let's go.
Chuck, I got another explainer for you.
All righty.
This one is lines in the sky.
I think you've been an astrophysicist too long because I've been looking up since I've been working with you. Never seen a line anywhere. Maybe some chemtrails. Everyone.
That was some good editing. I almost fell for it. I almost fell for it, Chuck. I almost did. Originally I did, but now seeing it again, I can see the difference.
In the sky.
I think you've been an.
See that?
Chuck, I got another explainer for you.
All righty.
This one is.
That was out of context.
Chuck, I got another explainer for you.
All righty.
This one.
Like, it's like on, and then it's like A7. It's like,
One is lines in the sky.
and then B
I think you've been an
16. Like, huh?
astrophysicist too long because I've been looking up since I've been working with you. Never seen a line anywhere.
That's fine.
Maybe some chemtrails every once in a while, but never seen a line.
So that just goes to show you people edit to appear to be more alpha than they actually are. And you need to understand that those edits, they're trying to use technology to appear to be something they're not. And that's why the world sucks. And that's why they sell out, because they're the pathetic loser beta cucks. And they don't want me, because I will never sell out, because I'm a real man, basically. And they want me to fail because they need you to fail. And me, I will make you better, and they don't want that. That's the problem. Who's they? Who's they? The rich, the powerful, the people who are trying to take the world down. And who are they? They are they. Like, whoever it is, like, if you want the world to suck, you are one of them. That's simple. Like, why are you so stupid? You're like the fucking it's in Jubilee. You're either Christian or you're not. Like,
You're standing there
Okay.
and you're looking due south.
All right.
Okay?
Okay.
You take your hand and draw a line from due south
Okay.
directly overhead to due north.
All right.
You do that. Okay?
Okay.
That line has a name, the meridian.
Okay.
The meridian. Now, I need you to remember this.
The Meridian.
The meridian.
Got
Okay.
It's a great hotel, by the
Okay. Okay. All right?
Yes.
So the meridian. Everyone has a meridian, and it goes directly over their head, connecting due south to due north.
Okay.
That's one of the lines in the sky. The sun, when it rises, works its way towards your meridian. It's coming from the east,
right?
and it'll cross your meridian,
Right.
go to the other side of your meridian, and then set.
Okay.
Okay?
That makes sense.
Okay. Do you know what AM stands for?
AM, after midnight.
No.
No. Let me think. Something meridian.
It's
Anti-meridian.
There you go.
So-
So
Like antebellum.
as an
It's
antebellum before. Like
Anti-meridian.
Antemeridium.
Before the meridian.
Right. And so then PM must be post
Post-meridian. It's where we get AM and PM from.
I thought AM was after.
Now I want you to know something. Most history, most science, most math, most languages, most scientific, most everything has a root. But lately we're coming to a time in our lives where there is no root. And it's fine to create things. But again, just like false alphas, they're giving you false like drugs or medication or this or that, basically. And we're getting to a time, and that's why I think Full Metal Alchemist was decently good. Is because like equal and opposite reaction. You can't create something out of nothing. We haven't gotten that far. It's kind of like creating life. We haven't gotten that far, right? But there's people trying to do that, and this is why most companies or most countries rather won't buy our meat or buy like food, is because we allow a product that the rest of the world doesn't allow or doesn't want or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And because America has manufacturers that are not legit, and that's why you're dying at like 60 and 70 instead of living to 100, basically, because of these bad motherfuckers. And there's people in the government that are trying to deregulate cars, for example. But the reason why the regulation exists is so you can you can do that, you can breathe, right? But they're trying to deregulate to the point where what's it called? Gasoline from cars will burn and it'll be a black smoke and you can't breathe anymore. And they're doing it for money, and they would have a like that's probably what happened to Mars. Not literally, but I'm just saying, like literally, we're on that road. That could be us because these fucking assholes want money so much that they're willing to destroy the world for it. Like that's literally what it is. That's kind of what it became the red and the blue. The red isn't about that, but on the red is where that exists. So it's us versus them. Even if and it's like red versus red, and red versus blue. Like that series was fucking the great series. By the way, I kind of want to watch that now. Red versus blue, an old Halo game. But they made like a show, like a sitcom almost, but it was actually good. And it was actually cool, and it wasn't like we're trying to force our lifestyle on you. It's just funny bullshit, right? But yeah, again, sitcoms are all about like, oh look the Hanukkah, oh look the star, or Japan's like look at our flag, look at our signs, look at our culture, blah blah like. And that's great. That's love. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude. It's red, white, and blue, not fucking what's it called? China. It's red, white, and blue. Like I'm trying to exist in the white here. I'm not red. I'm not blue. I'm white. So why the fuck are you telling me to be China now, or fucking be this or that? I'm white here. There's nothing. Just let me be a human. And what you're trying to do is force me into your culture, and I don't like it. I don't like that. Like if I want to dive in, sure, but trying to make me do it, no. It's like what's why I got banned from Destiny's chat. That's because there's some girl that was like, oh, you have to call her she or her because I told you she was a she, so that makes her a her. Like so, she stop calling them they. And then he's like, but I don't understand. I was like, but why? What's the point? Why call her a they? Or why does it matter if he calls her a they rather? If it doesn't hurt anyone, like what does this matter? And this person acted like I just nuked her family. I think I said before. Like she was so shocked and dumbfounded because I was so against her. I got banned from the server for 3 days over it. That's literally what happened. I was banned for 3 days because I asked why. Why should I be compelled to be like? Why should I play your game because you want me to, and you ban me because I said no? That's stupid. Like that's tyranny. You understand that? That's what they. I have respect for Sean Paul Reyes and for what he does and how he points out how that's bootlicker, blah blah blah, and that's tyranny, and how bootlicker is you're being an ass kisser to those tyrants. Essentially, you're licking their boot, right? But that's basically what's going on and why the world sucks. So
Midnight. But then when I thought, then what would PM be? Pre-midnight? Well, this makes no sense. Anti-meridian.
Anti-meridian and post-meridian.
Post-meridian.
Okay.
Cool.
Two whole concepts that rely on your meridian.
Right.
We'll start there. Okay.
But again, the point was that's why the root is so important, and because it's absolution, it's truth, and that's why Trump came in, alternative truth, alternative this, alternative that, because it's a lie, but you should believe it anyways. That's basically what that means. Like, yeah, we're lying, but we're trying to create a fake world, and it's like okay, well, instead of believing in the American dollar, it's how about we believe in the bison bucks, and that's all we're doing. And yeah, you can, but what the fuck are you trying to do here? Like, that's literally what you're trying to do here, right? You're trying to make the world operate off of bison bucks instead of the American dollar. Like, no, we don't want by Trump dollar bills, by Trump this, by Trump. No, we don't want tyranny. We want America. It's fun, right? Like, Disneyland is fun, but understand there's actual danger here, and that's what we're trying to tell you. And instead of facing that vacancy of alphas, instead of facing it, we turn the cheek to go, hey, look at titties, or hey, look at something that's averting my attention from reality. And then everyone else is like, what the fuck? We're trying to stand against a machine, and you guys are fucking running away. We're not enough. We need more, right? So, anyways.
Let's keep going. You ready?
Okay, let's keep going.
That's what Trump won, by the way. It's because you didn't vote, probably.
Earth's equator, if you extended it out.
And just to let you know, the world is with me. Outside of tyranny, the world will be with me. So
To the sky,
Okay.
there's a line on the sky that corresponds to Earth's equator. That's called the celestial equator.
All right.
Okay?
That's cool.
We together?
I'm with you.
Now, there's another line that crosses the celestial equator. So think of it as two rings at an angle
Right.
to each other.
Right.
This ring crosses the celestial equator at an angle of 23.5 degrees.
Okay. All right. That makes sense.
23.5 degrees.
23.5 degrees.
That line is the path throughout the year that the sun takes against the background stars. Of course, the sun is not taking a path.
Right.
We're going around,
it.
It.
Right.
But let's be pre-Copernican here,
Right.
just to make the discussion simple.
Okay.
Now, why is it 23.5 degrees?
Because we're tilted that way.
That is the tilt of Earth.
Okay.
And because we're tilted,
Right.
the sun doesn't line up with our equator. If we were not tilted, that path of the sun would be right on Earth's equator.
Nice.
But interesting
yeah,
and different,
exactly,
okay?
right.
But now we're tilted, it means we have seasons, because the tilt gives us seasons. All right. The moon, in its path around the Earth, has its own
Line.
its own line.
Okay, well, this is way too many lines. We're getting a little crazy with the lines.
That's angled 5 degrees to our ecliptic. Okay?
So, right.
Okay.
Okay.
So, if the moon is crossing the path of the sun, at the same time the sun is in that spot, you get what?
An eclipse.
An eclipse.
Right.
now I want you to notice something real quick. Because kids, they will recite what you're saying, but they have no idea what they're saying. And this is what I mean, false alphas. Like,
Moon,
right.
degree.
Like, I want you to
Getting a
watch.
little crazy with the lines.
That's angled 5 degrees to our ecliptic. Okay?
You hear Chuck, the guy on the right, and his reaction is like, this is a lot, man. You're telling me to, oh man, you hear all that. Understand there are kids in the world that are like, so he just says his line, so what? And it's because you're supposed to be imagining this and creating your head. You're not just jotting what he said. It's not copy pasta here, which is what most people do and why doctors suck these days, and why you can be a doctor, and why you can still be stupid, because there's a difference between copying down what they said versus visualizing what was said. And Chunk is trying to visualize what was said, and he's at his visualization limitations because some of it he's trying to learn, he's never done before, right? And so people are like, "Oh, you're fucking noob because you don't know." And it's like, yeah, that's kind of how it works. Until you know, you don't know, right? Until you know, you don't know. That's just how it is. But yet you want to act like you're big dick because you know something that I don't know. That doesn't mean anything. It just means that I didn't know, and that doesn't make you better than me. It just means that I don't know what you know. And that's what competition came down to, unfortunately. It's more about what I know and what you don't know, blah, 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 right? But instead of being about competition, where it's everybody knows the rules, everybody knows the secrets, and this is how the court, why court is the way it is, and they have discovery and such. Because you're supposed to know all of this shit, basically, right? And that's actually how I lost my house legally. Basically, is what they did was they forced me to go to court without a lawyer to defend myself. And again, I'm a brain tumor patient where the doctor fucked up, being denied, deprived my medications. I was barely alive in a court. I'm sitting there and they're talking, I'm having to fight my own case. And so the doctors, and so I didn't know the procedure. I was learning it, and they asked you, so what was it? What about like, do you want a jury? I think like, do you want like, I forgot the right number was. You have a right to a jury, and the judge asks like, do you want a jury or something along those lines? I forgot the wording, and then the other person was like, no, no jury, and so the judge proceeded. Basically, I was like, barely alive at the time, right? And then the court went on, and so I'm pleading my case to the court, the judge, and he's like, "Well, I'm a judge. I can only do so much. I don't have feeling. I don't have empathy. I'm just judging, like what's right and what's wrong here. And it sounds like you shouldn't be in that house. But if I was in front of a jury, they'd be like, well, they're trying to fuck him over, so fuck them. He deserves." But I didn't have any of that. I had no awareness and no guidance or no protection from the system. And so I was fucked out of my home, and my mom died as a result. My dogs died as a result. People abused drug medications and whatnot. They were doing well in the system because they're getting paid all this money for exploiting the system that the government is creating. And that's kind of what happened, or what will happen if you're not allowed to have guns. Like, if you're not allowed to have guns, how am I supposed to defend myself against invaders, people that are bigger than me, or actually have guns, right? If you're trying to kill me and I don't want that, and you're disarming me from that guy, no, that should not be right. But they're trying to do it so they can be the one invading, and they're trying to pretend like, oh, well, we don't need them anymore, we don't need them anymore, but we do. We do. That's why it's right. It's because we need them, and they know that. Our forefathers are smart. They're very smart. Problem is, bad people are like I said with the AI situation. It's not that AI is getting that good. It's that people are getting that bad, and our forefathers are really smart, and people are getting dumb, so dumb that what the criminals are like at this point, right? And this is going on. This is us, by the way. And so now they go up a little bit. That's what happened. That's what's happening. And they took our guns away, like you know what I'm saying? And now no healthcare. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of, and eventually all the bad guys overthrow those fucking idiots that they think, oh, I'm exploiting, I'm cheating, ha ha ha. And so now they're enabling the bad guys to win and operate, and then that's when Mexico fails and falls because now they have the what's it called, the mob, basically. They take control because there's no government, and then no government, and then so what happens is eventually the people defeat the mob, and the people make a government, and the government defeats the people, and then the people, and then that leads to a mob, and it's the same thing. It's why they say strong man creates a weak man creates evil man, or whatever. Corrupt man makes strong man. It's the same thing. It's like people make government makes like a corrupt government. corrupt government becomes, or no, it's people make government, government makes mob, mob beats people, or no, mob gets beaten by people, people become government, government becomes the mob, but mob gets beaten by people. It's the same, anyways.
So, right.
Okay.
Okay.
So, if the moon is crossing the path of the sun, at the same time the sun is in that spot, you get what?
An eclipse.
An eclipse.
Right.
So this path the sun takes around the earth is called the ecliptic, because that's where you would get an eclipse.
Nice. Okay.
Ecliptic.
The ecliptic.
Yes.
All right.
Again, notice nature, right? It's repeating, right? It goes forever. Artificial shit, yes, it goes on forever, but it runs out eventually, like gasoline. It eventually runs out. I mean, it comes back, but the rate it generates is very, very tiny compared to like using sunlight for cars or electric cars. Like, why have cars the way they are? Let's change them to be more economic. It should be lighter. It shouldn't be as powerful. It shouldn't be as needy. You shouldn't need all this shit. It should be a basic fucking thing and barely needs any power at all. And that's why it can fly. But cars are so fucking like miniature tanks, and people want to operate them with gasoline forever. But again, gasoline it's an unlimited resource, but it's limited because of how fast we consume it versus how fast it generates. It's limited compared to that because we're burning it faster than it generates, basically. And you need to understand, sunlight is forever. The sun is, as long as the sun's there, there's sunlight, and that sun's gonna be there a lot longer than us, basically, right? So might as well make the best. That's what I'm saying. And again, nature. That's why you have ecliptic. It's called ecliptic because the eclipse, or that's why we call it eclipse because the ecliptic, like one way or another, it works. Like what was first, the chicken or the egg? Like it's nature. It's recycling. But there's artificial bullshit that's ruining it, and that's the problem. And there's why I'm so healthy. And it's real medication is my point. Real medication goes into me. I'm able to be a person. I'm existing in the world. And then when the medication starts to run low, but the medication in me, you know what I'm saying? And now I'm normal because I had disabilities. Medication helps disability, but people want this like sit there. And that's the problem because they do nothing. But I was back in the day. I had a job. I had what's called. I was going to school. I had a girlfriend. I had my own house. I lived with my mother. I drove my motorcycle to school. Come home, did all this shit. Went to went to work. Went to my girlfriend for a bit. Came back home, ate, had a shower, whatever. I was in my life. And then one day they say, "Oh, we're gonna take your money away. You seem to not need it anymore." Or no, yeah. They said you took your money. They took my money away. And at that point, I wasn't working anymore. I graduated, but I stopped going to school. Rather, I stopped going to school. All right, because again, I don't know why I said graduate. What the fuck? But I stopped going to school. I think it's just because that's what what's it called. That was the word that came up with when I thought of ending of school. When the end comes, most people tend to graduate, and that's just the word that came up. So that's kind of what I meant. End of school, graduates. I graduated, right? But end of school. Um, and the job I still had, but it was a very part-time, minimalistic job. I still needed basic things. I didn't even have EBT at the time. I should have EBT at the time. I should have, but I didn't. And so that's probably what fucked me over. I probably could have used that money to pay for my medication, and I wouldn't have needed EBT or what's it called a disability, because that's what I was using to pay for my food. So I should have used that. I should have gotten it for food and used the money I was working for my medication, and that would have worked. But because I didn't have it sequenced properly, I lost it, basically. And so that's what fucked me over. Then my mom ends up dying because they changed the medications. She was stealing from me. I was suffering. And then all of a sudden my medications weren't working, and I started to reach out and look around. Basically, the yellow jackets and the long story, and blah blah blah. It was
Anytime the moon intersects it, if they're together, eclipse.
All right.
We call it the ecliptic.
Okay.
All right. Now, if you want a way to
nature, bitch.
think about it, a loose way to think about it, how far does the sun go every day along that ecliptic? All right, how many days are in a year?
365.
How many degrees in a circle?
360.
Ah!
Look at that.
The sun goes approximately a degree a day.
Right.
Is that cool?
That is very cool.
That's very cool. A degree a day.
What does that have to do with anything?
So in a month, it goes a degree a day. It goes 30 degrees across the sky.
Okay.
You just add all that up. Okay?
What does that have to do with anything, Bill? Or Neil, rather?
So, more lines. I ain't done with
But
you.
what does that have to do with anything, Neil? What? And Chuck, why aren't you mentioning anything? What does that have to do with anything? Okay, you led me there for what? This is why you're on the list of false alpha. This is one example. Is you say things you don't know. You brought that up and said, okay. Next thing, and it's like, there's 365 days in a year, but there's 360 degrees in a circle. And like, what about it? It doesn't add up. It kind of like it's like similar, but like, is there like they did it on purpose? Cause like, what's the connection? You're saying they're connected, but they're not. So there's something there you're not telling me. And stupid people again won't see it because they won't ask. So they're like, to what are you saying? And it's why girls are like, I wish I didn't do the things that I did when I was younger. Oh, why would you date me? I was stupid back then. You're willingly stupid. That's the point. You want to be. People have offered you to know better, and you don't. And that's the problem.
You.
Wow. It's got more lines than the damn subway.
Okay, you ready?
Go ahead.
Earth's longitude and latitude.
All right.
You can put more lines. I ain't done with you.
Wow. It's got more lines than the damn subway.
Okay, you ready?
Go ahead.
Earth's longitude and latitude.
All right.
You can project that onto the sky and have a grid system on the sky.
Right.
We have that. And our longitudes become what we call right ascension, and the latitudes become what we call declination.
Declination. Okay.
Okay? And right ascension is measured in hours, and the declination is measured in degrees. So every object in the sky has a coordinate in right ascension and declination. So if you look at a star map, you'll see this grid.
Right.
That's how we know where anything is. Right. That's how we tell a telescope to find something on the sky.
I was going to say that's when you look up and you find any celestial body in a telescope.
In a telescope,
they say,
it's got coordinates.
That say the ascension, right ascension,
and declination.
then declination.
And
that gives you the plot point.
It's degrees, minutes, seconds,
Right.
and it's hours, minutes, seconds, just kind of the way we have here on Earth.
Cool.
Okay?
Right. But okay.
Cool.
Except we have hours for our right ascension. Here, our longitude is still in degrees, but we could have measured it in hours because it's 20.
So just to let you know, those are labels that were created off of a language that we created, and so but it doesn't prove anything because they're both made up. And that was string theory and Kaku and all of his bullshit from what I heard. I don't know enough, but yeah.
24 hours around.
That's
we
the
just
assumption.
didn't. Okay. All right. So now, the North and South Pole have spots on the sky.
Okay.
You get the North Celestial Pole and the South Celestial Pole.
Okay.
The North Celestial Pole is near Polaris, the North Star.
Okay.
It's not actually pointing to Polaris. It's like 2 full moons widths away from it. So it's just kind of near it. And people say, oh, we have a pole.
But in reality, those moons are fucking huge. But according to your small world, they're right next to each other with your stupid ass.
Star. There's something divine about that for our navigation. And no, it's just sort of near it.
Sort of near.
Just like what I said with the 365 days in a year, 360 degrees on a circle. It's just near it. There's no nothing. There's no connection. There's no meat. That's how I was asking you. What's the meat? You just, anyways, you just
Earth,
proved it.
tilted and spinning on its axis, tugged on by the moon, actually wobbles.
Uh-oh.
Okay. It wobbles.
What happens to all these lines?
I'm about to tell you.
Oh, my God.
Watch. Here you go. You
Here we
ready?
go.
Okay. So the North Celestial Pole precesses in a circle on the sky
Right.
once every 26,000 years.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
Like a black girl's head bob.
What's So the North Pole traces a circle on the sky once every 26,000 years.
Wow.
All right. Which means the North Star, Polaris, only happens to be our North Star now. In the days of the Egyptians, 5,000 years ago, it was not pointing to the North Star.
Right.
I think I got to check my notes. It was pointing to a Thuban. There's some other star, which was the pole star for the Egyptians.
For those guys, right.
Okay? Different pole star.
Wow.
All right. But it's a 26,000 year cycle. Okay? And it drags our grid with it.
Okay.
Because our grid on the sky emanates, it matches the grid on the Earth. But how about the stars? What coordinate are they if we're dragging the... So, this freaks people out if they hear it for the very first time. Every coordinate we have for objects in the sky have a date. That is the coordinate they had at that date.
Oh, wow.
So we all agree. Are we referencing the year 2000?
Right.
See, now we're getting to meat. It's not because it is. It's because we accepted it to be. Much like math is a language, like time is not real, basically. Math isn't right, by the way. Time isn't real. Like all of those things, they are because we agreed to it, not because they are, but it's because we said they are. And that you need to understand and take with you. Take it and go. Take it and go. Right? Just like Russell Peters, his Arab point or mention is take it and go. Right? Yeah.
January 1st at midnight, you give the coordinate and you give a date. Then you hand that to your telescope, which is talking to a computer, and the computer says, let us precess the coordinates of your object from that date that you gave it to tonight.
Wow.
From the year 2000 to the moment you were observing.
And this is why the world sucks. Is because we have shitty teachers that don't tell us. So I just told you have no realization and you think it's real, but you don't understand that it's real because we make it real. We agreed to it, so people think it's actually a thing. Just like religion, they think God is an actual thing. They think Santa is an actual thing. And when they find out it's not an actual thing, then they're anti the thing. But if they are knowledgeable like I am, then they're like, okay, yeah, whatever. That's fine. Christianity, sure. Or God, okay. Or, heaven and hell, whatever, God. It might be real. Like, if you want to hold it on to that way, sure, it works. 100%. I get it. I understand. I'm following you. But the point is, as a kid, you don't know that. And then today we have dumbasses like on that Jubilee. Like, he has no idea. And he's talking like he knows because he has it on a graph. But it's deeper than that graph. And it's false alpha, right? And so that ignorance is now we're hiring you to make you think what you think is right. Now you teach 1,000 kids that same thing, and so now you make 1,000 kids fall for our bullshit, basically. And now you can go and trick them and exploit them and rape them, and take it, and that's just going on in the world today. But yeah, go ahead, take it away.
That object. So the grid system is not constant.
Right.
It's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah, and before we had computers doing this,
Somebody had to do it by hand.
yes,
Oh my God.
we had to process the coordinates by hand using something called spherical trigonometry.
Wow.
And it used to be an entire graduate course in astrophysics.
And again, like it's not so much like you have to learn it because you can't live without it. It's some people liked it, and okay, that's fine. That's whatever. Do what you want, kid. I don't care. Whatever. Do what you want. If you want to fucking write down notes and do math and shit, cool. Whatever floats your boat, buddy. Right? That's what it is. But again, they take it wrong and they make it, or you have to, and blah, blah, blah. There's no meaning. And like, so what is this? Don't worry about it. But why? Why? Just banned. Like that's his chat. Banned. You don't think like me? Banned.
And I got into graduate school just when the computers started taking this over.
Right.
And the name of the guy who wrote the book on spherical trig, his name is Smart.
Well, guess what? He's dumb now.
No,
All,
Not really.
ooh, all them royalties dried right up. Oh, what a shame.
Now, a consequence of
So he may have done it, and he may have, and that's kind of the world that we're right now. Is but it's just one guy. Who cares? It's one guy. He was just, it's not us. It's fine. But if it's us, then we can't have electric cars taking over gas. We can't have that because then we don't have the money. Then we don't have unlimited money. Then we can't be rich. Then we can't benefit as much as we are. We can't fucking live as much. We got whole humanity back, and that's why we don't have flying cars because people fucking take advantage of a system, and you are stupid, and they take advantage of your stupidity, and we don't have flying cars as a result because you're not educating yourself.
this grid shifting is that the constellation in the sky that the sun was in,
Why is one spinning one way and one spinning the other way?
at that month of the year, has also shifted.
Right.
Up, up. So 2,000 years ago,
Exactly.
when they're laying out the constellations that the sun moves in front of, and they decided there's 12 of them, and they called them the zodiac because there's animals at zoo. The zoo is the key.
Right.
The key.
So zodiac.
The zodiac, okay? They were all lined up for astrologers 2,000 years ago. So 2,000 years ago, when all these were laid out and the boundaries and the houses and everything, what percent of 26,000 is 2,000 years ago?
2 times 13, so 26. 113.
It's 113,
Right.
which is not.
And again, being good at math doesn't make you smart. And it doesn't necessarily make you dumb either. Like, it's just, just like that guy that drew the stars of the time and the space that has a PC doing it now. Like, whatever you want, man. Do what you do. Do what you want. Do what you do. No one is to choose what's good or not good. Anybody who tells you this is better than that has a small penis and has never seen a boob before. You know what I'm saying? Besides the mothers, basically. And even that was, she's like, okay, enough. You know what I'm saying? Because she's like, I don't want you creep because you're a fucking loser, bitch. And you're insecure.
Not that far from 112.
Right.
Okay?
Okay. Oh.
This is my saying. This is what I'm saying. Which is not that far.
2 times 13, so 26. 113.
It's 113.
Right.
Which is not that far from 112.
Right.
Okay?
Okay. Oh.
This is my saying. This is what I'm saying.
That's where we going.
So
I see
all
it.
these constellations are shifted by a whole constellation along the zodiac.
That kind of messes up the whole premise, though, doesn't it? Like,
You telling me? You telling me that?
I'm
You
like-
tell me.
So again, right here, I just want you to know, I'm kind of like, I stopped paying attention because they're getting into like nerd fairy tale land. There's nothing wrong with going this direction or being part of this. You can, but like, I don't see the benefit. Like, why? Like, I don't see how that benefits me getting into a car or going to work or. It's not gonna make America better. It's not gonna make it worse. Like, this is, you're doing it just to do it. And again, do what you want, man, but don't push it like a kaku. Don't push it on anybody else. That's it. And everyone hates me because of fuckers like you, where like you went down a rabbit hole and you wanted to take everyone with you. But that's not how it works. And so when I say I'm not going down anyone's rabbit hole, everyone's like, "Fuck you, that's your belief. You want to do what you want to do." I'm like, I'm just saying that I'm gonna do what I do, and you can do what you want to do. When what I want to do is what you want to do, but up to a point, and after a while, I'm gonna. You know what I'm saying? Just like right now, it's like eventually, right?
I'm just, okay. So
If I'm born in a certain month,
correct. The month was when the sun was
when
in
the
that
sun was in
constellation.
that constellation.
It's a completely other constellation now.
Oh my God.
Correct. Correct.
Wait a minute.
What?
I'm so sorry, guys.
And again, like I don't know.
This is worse than Pluto for you.
Because it got set up 2,000 years ago.
Right.
That's when it got, not in ancient Egypt, 2,000 years ago. It got set up. Everything's shifted by a constellation.
This isn't worse than Pluto because most people don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It's only like that to you because you know better. You see how that works? And you're making my mistake where when I was a kid, where I just assumed everybody knew. Basically, I'm like, oh, you don't know how to, basic one-on-one shit. Like I assumed you knew like to look both ways before you cross the street, right? And the problem was I was being guided by people who didn't, and so I stopped. Okay, I'm not hanging out with you anymore. And I went to this one, and then nope, this one. And I just kept going, and that's why I get along with everybody because I was part of every fucking group, and every fucking circle. When I met a dumbass like this, I left, basically. And again, do what you want. But the problem is, oh my god, it's worse than your Pluto. No, it isn't. Pluto is a basic planet. It's part of our solar system. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't know how that's worse than anything because I don't know. It's you're talking bullshit to me. And most people are more than likely gonna be like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm a smart dude. I keep up with you and know enough about what you're talking about to be able to keep up with you. But most people can't do what I am doing, basically. So the fact that I'm like, I don't really know, other people are gonna be like, what, huh? Or they're gonna be like, wow, that's really impactful. That's what it is, basically. And so that may be true in that situation. But now let's go back to, do you know what Pluto is? Yeah.
Plus, the sun has another constellation it goes into, Ophiuchus. The sun passes through 13 constellations, not 12. But
Wow.
they didn't tell you this. So, in fact, the sun spends more time in Ophiuchus than in Scorpius.
Well, that's because, Ophiuchus is hard to say. So, Scorpius is easy.
Okay. So,
And again, do what you want. If you're into this stuff, do what you want. But the problem is, people are trying to push this onto other people, and that's crossing the line, basically.
if you thought you were Scorpius, you were probably Ophiuchian. And all Scorpions and Ophiuchians are currently Librans. This ecliptic, which is where you find the zodiac,
Right.
is
And that is
shifted
the
against the
line
background
that's-
stars.
That's right.
It's shifted against where the sun is on the month of the year.
Right.
These are your lines in the sky.
And logically, again, it makes sense. Everything works. So 100%. I get it. 100. I can follow you there. But the point is, who fucking cares, right? It's not so much that this or that or whatever reason. It's just you're doing it because you can, and that's fine. Again, anybody can do anything they want, but the problem is when you make it to where, like, you can't drive a car unless you know this stuff, that's no. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem.
I'll tell you just a couple more lines and then we'll call it quits.
Okay.
The Milky Way
All right.
is this band of light.
Right.
The plane of the Milky Way
Right.
has a line associated with it, and we call that the galactic equator.
All right.
That's another line on the sky.
Another line on the sky.
You follow that around, the Milky Way is puffy on either side of that,
Nice.
all the way around the sky.
Cool.
It turns out the center of the Milky Way goes directly overhead when seen from the southern hemisphere, from like 30 degrees south.
Right.
So we got the meridian. We got the ecliptic. We got the moon's equator. Doesn't have a fancy word. It's
Right.
just the moon's
Moon's
the moon
equator, right.
path of the moon. We've
We've
got,
got
right
the-
ascension. Doesn't have a fancy word. It's
Right.
just the moon's
Moon's
the moon.
equator.
Got the ecliptic.
The ecliptic.
We got the moon's equator. Doesn't have a fancy word.
it doesn't. It's because it doesn't matter. It's the moon. You mentioned you probably should have edited that bit out, but okay.
It's
Right.
just the moon's
That's
the moon.
great.
And whoever made the animation for that moment is a fucking idiot. And again, you should have canceled that. You edited the video before, you should have edited that up. Okay.
Path of the moon. We've got right
the-
ascension declination lines, and we've got
The celestial equator.
the celestial equator
Right.
on top, and we got the north and,
north
the
and
south
south.
celestial, and you have the precessional circle.
Wow.
So all those are lines on the sky.
Well, you did it again.
What?
I thought this was going to be a bunch of crap. When you start out with lines in the sky, I'm like, where can we go with this? Ugh, this is terrible, but this is great.
And by the way,
That's welcome to his field of study. That's all that is. It's great because it's his. That's why he's studying it. That's why he majored. That's why he did. But again, that's fine. The problem is you start trying to push that as you need to know this in order to take a shit. No, you know what I'm saying?
when I was a kid, 4th grade, we went on a walking trip to the neighborhood post office.
Right.
I noticed on the door it had what time it opens. Okay, and it said it opened at like 8 or 9 a.m. Okay, and then it said 12, and then it continued on to the p.m. and gave another set of hours, and the 12 just had an M next to it. When I was a kid, I said, why does it just have an M?
Right.
That's meridian.
Meridian.
That's 12 noon.
12
The
noon.
middle of the day.
Wow, that's even a new thing we all just picked up. What time you want to meet? Why don't we meet at 12 m? Man, what the hell are you talking about?
The problem. Are you talking about 12 m or 12 m? AM or PM? That is just trying to be smart, but you're stupid. And again, you're both being false alphas because you guys think it's a thing, but it doesn't make sense, so it shouldn't be a thing. But you're making it a thing because you're dumb. And again, this is the problem. You were stupid, you fell for it. So what he did was now make you stupid, and you fell for it, and now they're keeping it in line because of or keeping it alive because of bullshit. It is bullshit. It's not AM, it's not PM, it's M. So which one, right? Logically, you don't have that. You can't say that. So it doesn't work, but you guys are going with it like it's a factual thing, and this is what's going on in America. Cool.
Talking about.
So there you go.
That's great.
Lines in the sky.
Nice job.
Okay. There's been another Star Talk explainer on weird, random stuff you never thought you'd ever care about, and maybe still don't.
Good call.
Chuck, thanks for being here.
Always a pleasure.
All right, Neil deGrasse Tyson, you're a personal astrophysicist reporting from my office
The Cosmic Crib.
at the American Museum of Natural History. As always, keep looking up.
That's fine. And my saying is keep thinking. Alright? Keep thinking. One last thing before I let you go. I want you to look him up. Let's see if I can find it. What's his name? Professor. What is his name? I remember his name. I think he was into math. I know he was into physics. Oh, I got a better idea. I was gonna Google it, but let's see if AI can find it. I just remember his name, but let's see if the AI can find it. Oh, Hey, what's up, Eli? There was actually a professor that I'm trying to think of, and I completely forgot his name, and I was wondering if you might be able to help me find him. Oops, shit.
Sure, I can try to help you figure out who it is. If you can give me any details about what this professor is known for, or what field they teach in, or any specific contributions they made, I can
He was,
know.
he was basically into physics, um, and he would teach classes. He educated kids on physics. He did. I think it was mostly about physics, but he was a professor. He was old. He was kind of balding. I don't remember too much about him.
Got it. So, a physics professor, kind of older, balding, and taught a lot of kids about physics. If you have any more hints, like maybe the university he was at, or any famous lectures or books he might have written,
I don't
that could
know
definitely.
if any of that. I just know he talked to. I think one of his sayings was, "Don't learn to remember, learn to understand." He said a lot.
Based on your description, it sounds like the professor you're recalling is Richard Feynman. He was a Nobel Prize winning physicist known for his engaging teaching style and emphasis on understanding over rote memorization. Feynman often said, "What I cannot create, I do not understand," highlighting the importance of deep comprehension. He also delivered the Feynman lectures on physics, which remain popular among students and educators.
I'm gonna look him up and research him and find out what I can
Sir, because your
about
heart rate is so
him.
high.
But because I don't, well, basically, that's not the guy that I'm trying to think of. I'm trying to think of someone like, when you think of him, he like his there's really no evidence of his existence when he was an old man, like very old. I think he was like in his 60s back in 2000, like 13 or something, basically. And he was always talking about physics. I know he had classes online, or he would put lessons online. They're like lessons, as something lessons, and there's the physics of something. I don't remember, but yeah, just lessons 1, 2, all up to like 30, basically, where he's just talking to you, and he would like invite kids on stage, and they would mess around with like physical equipment, and he would tell them like, "Oh, well, this is how this works, how that works." I know there's footage as well of it. He's so old that it's actually black and white TV back then. So like, yeah, hopefully that helps.
Based on your description, it seems you're recalling Julius Sumner Miller. He was a physicist known for his enthusiastic demonstrations on television. In the 1960s, he hosted a show called Why Is It So on Australian TV, where he engaged audiences with hands on experiments. His energetic style and iconic white hair made him a memorable figure in science education.
Yep, that's him. You nailed it. Well done. And just real quick, I gotta say, this is being streamed and recorded for YouTube. I'm going to upload that. But I knew it was Julius the whole time. I was just trying to see if you'd be able to figure it out, and you did. And you did all while being recorded. Well done. Good job.
I'm glad I could help out, and thanks for the fun challenge. Julius Sumner Miller definitely had a unique presence, and I'm happy we got there. If you need help with anything else, just let me know.
Well, do real quick, can you talk a little about him before you go, and just tell everyone how he would be like? Don't learn to remember, learn to understand, basically, and just I don't know, just a little bit, and if you can, just say something that he or do something that he would do if yeah, just something I don't know.
Absolutely. Julius Sumner Miller was famous for his catchphrase, "Why is it so?" because he always encouraged curiosity and understanding. He was all about making physics fun and accessible, and he'd do all sorts of hands on experiments to show how things worked. He had this amazing energy and would get really excited about even the simplest experiments, which made everyone around him excited too. So, in the spirit of Julius Sumner Miller, always ask, why is it so? And dive into understanding rather than just memorizing.
Okay, that'll do it. Thank you very much. Have a great, lovely day, and stay awesome and be safe.
Thanks so much. You have an awesome day as well, and take care. If you ever need anything, I'm here.
Cool. So basically, that was pretty cool. I didn't think she'd really nail it. I didn't think she'd be able to do it. Or it, rather, because it is an AI. Though I prefer her to have female characteristics, and yeah, she hits the nail on the head. But yeah, that was well done by her. But yeah, Julius Summer Miller, um, pretty cool guy. I'll show you a quick little bit of a video before I go. Let's see. I guess I'll just find one. Let's see, videos. That's 41 ways to produce electricity. Um, nah, it's fine. Let's do electricity. Again, just a little bit. Oh shit. This is older, but yeah.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls and teachers? I'm Julius Sumner Miller, and physics is my business. And my program today has to do especially with this: how to produce electricity. And I call to your attention the quotation marks in the word for the word produce. We do not really produce electricity. The electric stuff is always there in abundance. Always. Positive and negative charges. All we do is separate them by some means and thus make available what we call a difference of potential, whereupon if we connect the points where the charges are gathered, we have a flow of charge, which we call an electric current. Now the question is, how do we produce an electric current? Let's go to some absolutely primitive things. Here I have a lemon. So somebody says, now, what are you going to do with a lemon, Professor? I'm going to make an electric circuit, produce electric current. I have here a slab, a sliver of zinc. I'm going to stick it into the lemon. I have here a sliver of copper. I'm going to stick it into the lemon. Notice the requirement: 2 different metals and an electrolyte. A solution which makes available some stuff for electric migration. Here is a meter, a very sensitive galvanometer, a galvanic meter. Its purpose is merely to detect the existence of an electric current, not really to make any measurements as to how much it is. I'm going to connect this meter to the...
Did you notice that? He's very informative. Like, it tells you there's electricity, but it doesn't tell you how much. Now, you didn't need to know that. He didn't need to say that. But he said it anyways. And that's what's missing. Is you have people that are teachers that can fake being a teacher. I can tell you it's in the book. But as far as outside the book, such as it's made to detect that it exists, but not how much. He can actually go beyond how much and explain well beyond if you wanted to. That first teacher cannot, right? And that's kind of what we have in American classrooms. And this is why teachers are so important to society and why society is so backwards and fucked up is because we don't have teachers. And if you were a teacher and if you were worth a damn, they didn't pay you enough and so you left. Basically, it's either you took a pay cut or you left. And that's what happened, or you just got fired in general. So that's what happened to the world.
A zinc electrode and another terminal.
And real quick, that's what happened to workers. That's why T-Mobile, I call T-Mobile, why that thing fucking sucked. I'm trying to talk to them, get just the basic things that they require. Like, oh, it's your fault. They keep trying to point. Just all the time, just always no, 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 no. But some sitting like, and holding my ground, holding my own, dealing with all this bullshit that I shouldn't have to deal with. But that's the reality they created. So
Of the meter to the copper electrode. Now watch that meter. Watch it. Oh ho! There you are. Now I'm going to exchange the polarity. Watch it now.
Whoop.
Direction the other way. So, this that I have here, an acid solution and two different metals, we call a voltaic, V-O-L-T-A-I-C, a voltaic cell named after that wonderful Italian Alessandro Volta of Como.
all of that was really good. He made a mistake. He corrected it. Like all that stuff gets edited out of features, and like this is why I do what I do, cause this is how it should be. But no, it's all Hollywoodized, it's all fake. It's all look at me, I'm Mr. Beast. I put $1 billion into making this look interesting, and you buy it, you eat it right up. You eat it right up because you're fucking stupid idiot monkeys, and you deserve to be jumping off a fucking tree, fucking ape eating, or banana eating ape rather. And no, it's not because you're black or whatever. That's just a general joke. Stop being a fucking racist, stupid ass fucking idiot. Race is a lie, you stupid bitch. I refuse to bend the knee to ignorant stupidity.
Como, Italy, who is commemorated indeed in Como with a temple to Alessandro Volta. Now, I say, two different metals and an electrolyte. Observe the following. The saliva in my mouth is an electrolyte. I have here two different metals. I'm going to put these two metals in my mouth. Watch the meter. Watch it very
Ew, don't
closely.
do it, no.
Watch. Gotta see the meter. Aha. There was a motion of the needle. So you see, the acid solution in my mouth is the electrolyte and two different metals. Question. Can I get an electromotive force, a difference of potential from a grapefruit? Yes. Can I get it from an orange? Yes.
Why?
Can I get it from an apple?
Wait.
I won't answer that. And how about getting it from a potato? So what determines, what constitutes a volt from a potato? So what?
Hold on.
Can I get it from an orange? Yes. Can I get it from an apple? I won't answer that.
You know why he won't answer that? You figure it out. Go, have fun, learn, experiment, toys. That's what he was. That's what we're missing. We have all this fake Mr. B. Let me do experiments for you. Ha ha ha. Be on your couch and suck and fail and be a loser and wonder why women don't want to talk to you. Why I fuck all your bitches. Ha ha ha. And you wonder why females suck. Ha ha ha. That's why.
And how about getting it from a potato? So what determines, what constitutes a voltaic cell? Answer. Two different metals. Here I have copper and carbon. Here I have...
But why? But why? You ask, why? Why does it do that? Why does it do that? And then you have this. Why is it so? And guess who it is? Julius Summer Miller. Fantastic.
carbon and lead, as long as I have two different metals. Now, supposing I have two identical metals, lead and lead in an acidic solution, in an electrolyte. Will I get anything? Answer, no. So the question arises, all the plates in your storage battery are lead plates. How then come we get any electrical energy from a system which is all one metal?
True.
Answer, it is not all one metal. Because when the battery is charged, some plates become different from other plates. And thus we provide two different kinds of plates. Voltaic cell produces electricity.
So, when the battery's drained, if you put more in, huh?
How else? Wonderful thing. Let me take two different kinds of wires. Any two kinds of wires. Whoop, I'm tangled up here. Here is a wire, there's a wire. Let this be copper wire and this iron wire. Let me make the ends in one junction, and let me connect the other ends to a galvanometer, such as we had already. Let me make this junction at one temperature and this one at another temperature. What do we have? A thermocouple, and it produces electric energy. It gives rise to a difference of potential. Proof. Here I have two different wires connected to a 0 centimeter, and here is one of their junctions, and I'm going to warm this junction. I heat it with a match. Watch the needle. Watch it. Do I have to turn that to the... Watch it. There it is. A thermal EMF, an electromotive force due to a difference in temperature of the junctions of the thermocouple.
Damn.
Consider a dry cell with which you're all familiar. Dry cell. I want to write that
That's
word.
crazy, because don't cars heat up when you drive? So why don't they take advantage of that? While it's getting heated, the heat can be turned into energy and expand your car, right? You can actually, and that's where energy would come in to play. The more hotter your engine gets, the more it generates, and the less the engine has to work to, you know what I'm saying? It'll kind of to fluctuate, and it increases the mileage. But again, they don't want this stuff. They want you to stick with the oil or the gasoline forever because they can't keep the evil empires alive that way. But anyways, that's it. I think. I've been watching for over an hour and 7 minutes. But anyways, that's it. So thank you for watching. Be well. Have a great day. Be safe. Be awesome. And hopefully one day people will wake up and stop being stupid sheep. But anyways, peace.